Welcome back to Strength and Healing. I'm Rick Rivers. I want to talk a little about taking time for yourself, being patient with yourself, and listening to your body. When you're someone who deals with a chronic illness or you've been dealing with it for a while, and you're going to have what are called good days and bad days. um, Now, these things can come randomly. You can't always anticipate when it's going to be a good day or bad day. There can be factors that influence whether or not you're going to have a good day or a bad day. Um, Regardless of what the reason is behind why it is that you're having one of these days, uh, it is important to recognize that you are having one of those days. In particularly, I want to talk about those bad days. I had one of those bad days yesterday. I wasn't feeling exactly the best. Now, in this particular case, I knew why I had a bad day yesterday. It was because the night before I didn't really get that much sleep. And that kind of threw my entire day off yesterday. I already have to deal with issues of fatigue, dehydration, which is compounds of fatigue. Um, and then there are the headaches associated with dehydration. I also get those. Also coupled with medication side effects, things like that. So, just the lack of sleep for what normally anybody else who doesn't have constant issues, they could just I'll just have a cup of coffee or two, give me a Mountain Dew or something, I'll push through. But when you can't simply have those quick fixes, and those things do have longer, more substantial effects on you, um, take time and just recognize that you're having one of these bad days. Recognize how you're feeling um, physically, and then if there's any mental component to that, or sometimes those kind of situations can stir up an emotional response as well. Be patient with yourself. Uh, if you have been going through this for a while and you kind of have a feeling of how to maneuver it, do those things that you do to help keep yourself at peace and relaxed. Those things that help you build your strength, whether that's just having a seat, um, trying to stay hydrated. If you have a headache, like I did in my case, I have what I call my cocktail, which is a combination of different medications that help to um, alleviate the headache symptoms I have. And for me, sometimes my headaches can spur a migraine. Um, and my migraines can be triggered by other things too, not just from a headache, but it's the life. It's having to deal with issues compounding on top of other issues, and learning to navigate life with these things and still trying to have a life. Going to your children's recital, um, trying to get whatever work done that you can still do, uh, being there for your spouse or loved one, being that support that they need. uh, I mean, life doesn't stop because you have this thing, and it definitely doesn't stop just because it's a bad day for you. But you have to be patient with yourself. You have to acknowledge what it is you're going through, and you have to address it, because if you don't address it, it will get worse. And if it gets worse, then it could have detrimental effects on you. And how are you going to be there for others? How are you going to be there for yourself if you don't take care of yourself? Like they say on a plane, if something were to happen, the air mask come down, put yours on first, and then put it on to the person next to you, your child, your spouse, whoever it is that's next to you and that needs assistance. You have to take care of yourself. Acknowledge what that day brings you. And if it's a bad day, make sure you do those things to make it at the smallest of the bad days that it can be. And if you can't control that, do your best to try to mitigate the effects that's hitting you, so that you can at least get through that day to the next Do everything you can to make sure that you have everything that you regularly need and those things that will make you feel better so that the next day, maybe get some more sleep that night. Maybe drink a few more cups of water that day. Maybe make sure that you don't skip anything, that supplement that you take, that medication that you have to take. Whatever it is that you have to do, be on point that day, even though it's hard and it's distracting being in pain and not feeling up to it. Do that so that the next day, maybe it'll be a good day. And if it is a good day, then everything else gets better. Everything else is that much easier. But take care of yourself. Be patient with yourself. Acknowledge what it is you're going through and address that. Do these things to help you take that next step, one in front of the other. This thing that we're dealing with is not a race. You can't sprint to the end. There's no, finish line. There's no medals. There's no anything for you if you make it through here faster. Take your time. One step at a time. Whether that's a slow lumbering flop of the foot in front of the other, or it's a graceful leap. One step at a time. That's it. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, subscribe. Until next time, I'm Rick Rivers. Take it easy.